Good morning and welcome to our February Eggs and Issues and Community Coffee. Couple quick announcements. February 27th, the Northwest Technology Center, Oklahoma Small Business Development and Alva Chamber will offer a QuickBooks class from 9 to 4 here at Northwest Technology Center. If you would like to sign up for that class, please see Charlotte or let them know here at the front desk. March 31st is our egg drop. Hard to believe that Easter is April 1st and that we're gearing up for that event. On the retail side, we'll be getting our eggs out for that event. So if you are interested in participating in that event, let me know. I'd like to thank Northwest Technology Center for hosting us this morning and this amazing breakfast. The cinnamon rolls hit me when I walked in the door, and I can't wait to have one. I'd like to thank Gerald Harris and Darren Slater for having us, and I'll let you say a couple words.
I would like to welcome you here today to Northwest Tech. And, we're all about education, training, and helping students and citizens achieve success. So anything we can do to help you, let us know. If you can think it up, we'll listen to it. So let us know how we can help you. Thank you for coming.
We'll go ahead and get started on the Eggs and Issues segment. We're certainly thankful to have these gentlemen in the room. We have Representative Carl Newton, and we're going to let him speak here in a moment. We have Senator-elect Casey Murdoch. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we have Tanner Roberts with Senator Langford's office.
Okay. Thank you. If you ever want to know what your representative looks like on painkiller, I'm here. Anyway, I just got out of the hospital yesterday afternoon, so don't ask me any tough questions, please, because my mind is a little thick. It's been an interesting week for me because I spent the week in the hospital. I missed the big vote. But I did get a call Sunday night from the Speaker of the House. He said, "Carl, what hospital are you in?" I said, "St. Anthony's." He says, "Well, I just want you to know, if we get to 75, I'm sending somebody to come get you and bring you in." So I watched the vote kind of closely, but anyway, like Senator-elect Murdoch said, it's one way to get out of a vote, but it's not been a fun way. Anyway, the nice thing is that our economy is turning around. We are getting closer. We only lack 44 million compared to 600 million where we were earlier in the year on closing the budget hole from last year. I saw some bills. I was looking at bills that were coming up for this next week, and there's going to be some shuffling around for money. TSEP money can be used for education. I saw that they're going to try to shuffle some money there and fill the education hole. Where was the other one coming from? There was one for the health care authority was coming from, the lottery. The lottery's going to take some money from there, or maybe I may have them reversed. Like I said, I'm on painkiller stuff. So, but there is some money going to be shuffled here and there and try to take care of it. One of the problems I think you need to know in Alva and specifically Woods County, that a teacher pay raise does not help your school the way they had it set up. I mean, they were going to give you a mandate to raise $5,000 because your school's off the formula, though. You don't get any money. They were only going to give it to those schools that were on the formula. All schools in Woods County are off the formula. And so it was not a good one. The closest one I've seen that I like is 3440, but it has some real questions about it. It wants to take money from the land office. Western Oklahoma has a lot of money that's sitting in a bank from school land and all that. The land office was set up in 1907. Started out with $6 million, and then they said this land. I think one of your counties is almost all in the land office, wasn't it, at one time?
It still is 20% of the county, 236,000 acres.
Yeah.
In Cimarron County is school land.
Yeah, school land. I mean, the largest mineral owner in the state of Oklahoma is the state of Oklahoma. So that was one of the arguments not to raise the gross production tax because it hurt the state more. So yeah. Anyway, but it wants to take it from the land commission office. But the problem is, they call it the corpus. What is the corpus? If I gave you, I'm just gonna give you a number, 1,000 acres and $6 million, okay? And the money you made off of that went back into education and used for those kind of things, okay? Which is where it goes. But if over that time you sell some of that land, let's say we end up selling 400 acres. So I've got money in the bank. Now, is that still part of the core, or is that profit? And that's one of the decisions that's got to be made on that bill. Because if it's still considered part of the core, it cannot be used. If we're going to consider that profit, then it can be used. And so that's one of the technicals on that one. But the only thing I like about that school bill is it does give it to everybody else. I mean, all schools equally. I don't know. Mr. Harris, have you checked on that one on career techs? Is it gonna, have you heard on it?
We're not part of that.
Not part of that one either? Okay. But anyway, it's a funny game we play because there's always little holes here and there, and that was probably one of the biggest problems with 1033. And I would have voted just like Senator Murdoch. I'm not scared to tell you. It was not good for Northwest Oklahoma. It might have been good for Oklahoma City. It might have been good for Tulsa, but it wasn't good for Oklahoma City. I am a wind proponent, but I'm not big wind proponent, okay? My thing is that all items that generate electricity, all industries that generate electricity pay ad valorem tax, okay? All of them. None of them pay a gross production tax. What they wanted to do was pull some of that ad valorem that we're gonna get received up here, where we had to put up with the wind generators and all that kind of stuff. They were gonna pull it out and share it out all across the state. And that was their goal. And that's what happened to our oil back in the 70s. If you guys remember, our schools were really flush back up here where we had oil wells and stuff like that. And then they spread it out over the statewide. And so that was one of my problems, because I thought if they added the gross production tax, first of all, I thought it was a double tax, because they were going to keep charging them ad valorem tax, but then they were going to add gross production tax on top of it. Okay? Well, if I'm sitting in Tulsa, having not a generator within 100 miles of me, over time, I'm going to want to increase the gross production tax and increase that ad valorem tax, aren't I? Because it benefits me more. And to me, that hurts us. Because really, Northwest Oklahoma and everything up here, we are a good generator of energy for the state of Oklahoma. We really are. So, anyway, I'll leave it at that. I'll turn it over to, I'm pleased to introduce to you Senator-elect Casey Murdoch.
Thank you, Carl.
You can correct anything I said wrong, Tom.
No, I agree almost with you. I think there's a few parts in there that the pain meds kind of got against you. But, no, I'm happy to be here. This is my first Eggs and Issues in Alva, and thank you for inviting me. The last 2 weeks has been a whirlwind for me. The first week of session, we was gearing up for this Step Up Oklahoma vote. While I was in a campaign, it's just been a blur. It's been a blur, and Tuesday, after Monday, that was interesting to say the least. Tuesday, I drive back to Guyman to a watch party, and then I'm back in the city Tuesday night. I think I got back to my apartment at 2 o'clock in the morning, but I had bills in committee. And whenever I first decided to run for Senate, I had told the speaker, I said, I will not let my campaigning affect my job as representative. I'm a representative first, and I will campaign on the side. So I had a job to do. I had bills in committee Wednesday morning, and I had to be back. So yeah, it's all been kind of a blur. Kind of where we're at in Oklahoma from my point, I think we're about right here in getting over the hump We're close, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think when the numbers come out on, I believe it's the 20th, isn't it, when the Board of Equalization meets on the 20th of this month, I think we're looking at a flat budget. Our economy's growing, it's turning around, but that's not 100%. And I know Carl and I have been getting beat up for, it seems like ever, that we haven't done anything. You guys haven't done anything down there. You haven't fixed anything. And, you know, I kind of feel that way. I get frustrated. I'm like, wow, we haven't got anything done. But it's kind of like when you're building fence. And if you all don't know, I run cows. I'm a rancher. So I try to tie everything back to my ranch. And it's kind of like you're building fence. And if you're just looking ahead and you've got 3 miles to build and you're pounding post and you got your, actually this year it seems like we've had the rock bar out busting rocks to get post in. But you're just looking at, man, I've got another mile to go, and you're looking down what you've got to do, and you forget to turn around and look at what you've done. And I think we've are so focused on the job left to do, we forgot to turn around and look what we've accomplished. We've set some very, very good foundations this past year. We're looking at a flat budget. Last year we was $868 million in the hole. Now our economy has turned around, but that wasn't the whole thing that's gotten us flat. It's some of the measures that we did last year in session. Some of the measures we did the year before, just kind of little setting bricks in and fixing things. Nothing big, but it's those little measures, and when you stick them all together, we're let's just say we're not out of the tunnel, but we can see the light. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I think this year we have a good opportunity, especially with a flat budget. If we look at some revenue raisers, I think we can turn this thing around, and little ones. As far as the teacher pay raise, I have voted for a teacher pay raise every time it's been up. We've got to pay our teachers more. And not only our teachers, that's our state employees. ODOT workers, DOC workers, prison guards make $13 an hour. They're dealing with Oklahoma's criminals, the most dangerous people in Oklahoma, for $13 an hour. They need a raise. Our ODOT workers, you know, you kind of, you're tucked in bed all warm and cozy, but when a blizzard hits, those guys are out there clearing roads. 3 o'clock in the morning. I know when I was checking heifers, blizzard hit, and I went out and was checking heifers, and those state guys was out clearing the road at 3 o'clock in the morning. They need a raise too. There's a lot of work to be done. You know, when I first got elected 3 years ago, we had a $611 million hole in the budget. The next year, $1.3 billion hole in the budget. Last year, $868 million. I'm gonna go back to my ranching scenario. In the middle of that drought that we had, seemed like forever at my place, but I spent all my money on just buying feed and trying to keep things put together. I was baling wiring and gray taping the things together, and you do that enough, your infrastructure is going to start falling down. You just don't have as good as fence. You don't have as good of things, and that's where we've been at in Oklahoma. We've been baling wire and duct taping things together, and it's time to go in there and fix it right. And I think with a flat budget, I think we have the opportunity to get in there and fix it right. I agree with Carl. I was a no on this, and it was, in my belief, it was bad for Oklahoma, or bad for Northwest Oklahoma. When I first ran 3 years ago, I was at a debate, and I promised that I would not cast a vote for anything that whenever I went home and went to the grocery store, I'd have to duck my head. And I felt like I was if this thing passed and the things get enacted that was in it, I would have to duck my head when I went home. And it was tough. It was tough because, I mean, like I said, I've voted for a teacher pay raise every time. That was a tough vote for me. And, you know, if you all remember, I voted for the A+ plan in special session. I understand we need revenue. We've got baling wire and duct tape out there that we've got to fix. But I just couldn't do it because it was bad for us. And whenever they started proposing trading out on wind ad valorem for gross production, I don't know if you all read the newspaper, but I kind of support wind once in a while. I realized I'm not a wind supporter. What dawned on me, I'm a county supporter. The only reason I support wind is because it's good for our counties. It's good for our schools. If you all didn't know, I was on the school board in Felt for 10 years. Felt is a little bitty school. We have a feed yard there. That's our big ad valorem payer in the school district is a feed yard. And we struggled. And I looked, at that time, Fort Supply got their windmills. Fort Supply was struggling. They was just like Felt. Those windmills moved in, they went off the formula. They're doing well. And you look at Balco, and you look, Goodwill's the latest. Goodwill was fixing to close down. I'm not so much a wind supporter as I support my schools. I support my counties. Last year, Wind paid $74 million in ad valorem taxes to 23 counties, 65 school districts. That's who I care about. You know, Daily Oklahoma came out and said I'd gotten $80,000 from Wind. I don't know where that came from or where that went, because I didn't get $80,000 from Wind. I got, in my mind, I hadn't checked it, but it was about, I think, 20, give or take, 20 some.
Yeah, but you can count when the wind blew you in to the Capitol.
Yeah, but it sure hurts when it's coming from the south and they fight it all the way down. But I was thinking about that. I'm like, I don't care about that number. The number I care about is $74 million that it's paying to my counties. I promise you guys, there's plenty of representatives and senators down there that's taking care of that capital, and very few that's looking after our counties. I'm going to stand up for our counties. I'm going to stand up for our rural Oklahoma, because we're outnumbered, and they're gonna go after us every chance they get. But I'm going to move on. I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the bills that I've hopefully get off this week, because I've only got a week. I will be sworn in on Thursday to the Senate, so I have Thursday morning at 8:30 actually. So I've got 3 days to finish my work on the House side. So I have a drone bill, and what that is a bill that will, to me, it protects personal property rights and privacy. And so my bill says if you fly a drone over somebody's property, you have to have permission. Right now, so in my bill, it goes off of the FAA regulations. I'm not going over FFA regulations. You have to fly it over with the FFA regulations, and you have to have permission. But they don't enforce them. Whenever I started this process, I was at a drone meeting, and since there's been drones, they've issued one citation, I guess is what you would call it, for illegal flight of drones, and it was to a real estate guy in New York City, and they fined him $1.5 million. That's all they've done. Everybody and their dog, they're going to have drones before long. I think everybody's going to have a drone. They're neat. My brother just got one. They're fun. But there needs to be some rules to the highway. When Henry Ford cranked up the Ford plant and started getting more cars on the road, the first cars out there Because driving through, there wasn't any rules on how you drove that car. Drive it however you wanted. But as more and more and more cars got on the road, we had to have some rules to the road for safety. Well, I think that's what we need with drones. And so I've got that bill going on, and you know, I really don't want somebody flying a drone over my property. And with the cameras on it, I don't want them taking pictures of me sitting on my back porch. Now, they probably delete them really fast, but it's still my privacy. And we need to have some rules for the road. So what that does is it gives the local law enforcement agencies the ability to go write basically a speeding ticket if you're flying a drone illegally outside the course of the FFA regulation. So it just gives the authority so say you call the police, and actually someone from Tulsa had emailed me last year when I ran the bill. I had to kind of clean it up. It got, well, lobbyists got a hold of it and kind of amended it on the Senate side and just messed the whole bill up, so I just laid it over and was going to fix it this year. But a man from Tulsa emailed me. He said his daughter was out in the backyard and this drone was just sitting there hovering, and he called the police, and they showed up and said, there's nothing we can do. That's not against the law. Well, it should be. And that's why I ran the drone bill. I've got a bill that would give local school boards the final say on whether they allow a charter school to come into their school district. Like I said, I was on the school board. That local school board knows the best interest for that school district. And right now they have that vote, but then you can appeal it to the state school board. And what worries me is that state school board doesn't know what's happening in Alva, Oklahoma. But that local school board does. And I want to leave it local control as much as I can, because that's who knows what's going on in their communities, is the locals. With that, I will wrap up. I do think this year is going to be better. Oh, wait, I do want to say this. So on the teacher pay raise, so like I said, I voted for a teacher pay raise every time that it's been on the books, been on the board. Tuesday morning, I was in the speaker's office proposing another plan. And I said, look, so we have other options. And so the other options that's sitting out there that we can get a teacher pay raise is we have the Romney Light plan that we voted out of the House last year that's sitting over in the Senate. Now it's kind of a cut down version of what Romney was wanting to do with the federal tax structure when he ran in 12. And just kind of cleaning up Oklahoma's tax policy. The cigarette tax, and then the ball and dice. Those three things right there brings in about $300 million. We need $280 million for the teacher pay raise, for the 5,000. That right there will get it done. It'll be clean, and I think we can do it fairly quick, and we can get the teachers the pay raise. And so, you know, Tuesday morning I was in there selling that to the speaker. I also circled back around yesterday and bugged him again about it. So, you know, I'm still out there working, trying to get the teachers a pay raise. But with that, I think I hit on everything. So I'll let.
Thank you very much. Yes, so now on a federal level, my name is Tanner Roberts. I am Senator Langford's Northwest Field Rep. I'm fairly new to the position, so I'll just say a little bit about myself. I'm an Enid native. I graduated from Oklahoma State in December and recently started covering the territory for Senator Langford. It's been an eventful first month and a half as I've been traveling all across this area and introducing myself to folks from Stillwater all the way out to Boise City and Felt. So it's been good. But on a federal level, we're still, moving strong on there. Just a reminder, Senator Langford sits on the Appropriations Committee, Homeland Security Committee, Subcommittee on Select Intelligence, and the Subcommittee on Indian Affairs. So he is constantly busy with all of those. Right before Christmas, we had a big win with the tax bill. We're still waiting to see that shape out within the next year and how it's going to affect rural Oklahoma and our communities across the state. The boss thinks it's going to be, very successful. Oklahomans are going to have more money in the pockets, be able to spend more in the local communities and the economies, and it's going to be really good for our state and the rest of the country. So it's been very good on that front. Along with the appropriations, as you know, we had a CR that is going to go until March 9th to keep the government up and around. Senator Langford is constantly looking for a long-term solution, as he doesn't believe that it is a good way of governing to go from short CR to short CR. He's looking for something that is going to last around 2 years for a budget deal. So that is something to keep your eye on as we're moving forward. This week he was very busy with immigration talks. We're trying to figure out, or he is trying to figure out a solution there and something that's common sense to fix immigration here in the country, as it has been our immigration has not been really worked on a legislatively for many years. So he's constantly busy with that as we're moving forward in the next couple of weeks and trying to hammer something out on immigration. So it's been good. I've enjoyed traveling this area, and I'm from Enid, so I enjoy the Northwest. Everyone's very friendly. So I look forward to spending more time in Alva as the coming months and helping out any way federally that our office can, as we can help out with casework and Veterans Affairs issues and anything along those lines. So thanks again, and Alex, thanks for letting me attend today. So.
Thank you. Well, these guys will probably be here for a couple minutes if you have any questions for them. I want to remind you that March 26th at the Oklahoma History Center is the Northwest Oklahoma Alliance Legislative Reception. We hope that you can all attend. Thank you for coming out this morning. Thank you, guys.
One comment?
Yes.
One comment. I look forward to working with Senator Murdoch. I think we can get along. We have a common background from the farm and stuff like that. And I would reiterate what he says. We're here for you guys. I'm not there for Oklahoma City. And probably one of the biggest things we fight is the rural urban. And, lobbyists are, some legislators listen totally to lobbyists. That makes our job harder, because we want to do what's right for the people. So I look forward to working with him, and I think we'll get along good. So if you have any problems or questions, do not hesitate me or him, and we'll argue about it. So.